So hello all in the morning here, welcome to my review of Attack on Titan episode 8, season 2, or episode 23 in total. This is a bad episode, and if you like the episode, I mean, you have to be super fanboy of it. Because I mean, I went back, and I read the manga, I went find the manga chapter this is taking place in, which is chapter 4 to 5, and that's a much better chapter than this anime, for example. So this is made the manga worse. So for example, the whole flashback thing, that was completely unnecessary. That we already knew all of that. That's something we already seen before. The Armin, Eren, Mikasa, Shide, blah blah blah, by the kids, Mikasa beating them up, Eren getting pissed off that she always saying him, he wants to be a grown up himself, yada yada yada. That is less than a page in the chapter. Less than a page! Right? The scene where Hannes talks to them, and it's like, okay, I want you up, here's some food, and you see the flashback again in the anime, where the flashback you saw. That's it was horrible in the anime because you saw the whole flashback, and he's like, he recaps the flashback that you saw. It could be horrible. That recap he does. That's the only thing they have in the manga. So it's like less than 1 page is that he talks to them. It's like almost a full page of like the screen of her kicking a boy in the face. That's the only thing they have. So I mean, they spent what, like 5 minutes in that, like quarter of an episode on something that isn't in the manga. It's completely filler, completely pointless. It's really bad, and also. Like, Mikasa looked sad, sure, in the anime, but I read the manga again here, like, she looks way... Like, I remember this episode to be more emotional, and when I looked at the manga, she looks way sadder. It's much more tears in her eyes. She's drawn way more sadder and more depressed than how she's in the anime. I think she looks... Obviously, she wasn't happy in the anime, but she looks much more depressed in the manga. This is a horrible episode in every regard of it. Just half of it is completely filler, and the other half that actually is canon looks way... like, you know, tuned down how it should be in the manga. This is way more in depression and melancholy, whatever, in the manga than it was in anime. So it's very, very badly. The only thing they did good was pretty much that when she was angry and she's like, eat food, that looked better in the anime, that looked cooler. She looks really pissed off there. That they made better, that made her look more emotional. But actually the other part, she was just like, I don't know, the other part was like less emotional. It's just befuddling to me how it made it that bad, and like that's pretty much like I said. Episode had nothing. I'm not gonna be wrong though. This manga chapter isn't the best either. Like this anime episode, it kind of covered like less than 1 chapter though, which is really low. Which is of course really low pacing. But they pretty much did cover 1 chapter, a little less. Like because we see in the beginning of the episode fighting war in the last. More than this as well, and the left one. So they're kind of covering like 95-80%. Doesn't really matter so much, but I mean basically one chapter. And we last episode covered more than 1 chapter, so it's very low pacing. Even if the course has an arc was longer, but you see here that they filled it out right because obviously they should have gone faster, and they really wanted to end. But I think that this chapter ends on the same page as the anime ends, right? So they end on the same thing with them in the forest. And Eren is waking up and he's talking to Bernhold, Rainer, and Ymir. That scene is the same scene. So they kind of like they clearly decided, okay, we're gonna have the exact same, end page as chapter 45 has. So you have to just get there in 20 minutes, right? So we're like, okay, we're gonna have like a flashback filler, a filler on that flashback, and Sasha. I love Sasha. That part with her is in the manga, so that's good. Because that is awesome. But for example, that part where she's scared, she's like, where's the massacre? Like that part is even in the manga. That was a good part though, but completely filled as well. So they just took this chapter and like, okay, we're gonna make this a full episode chapter. You know, no matter what. This is a slow-paced manga chapter. This is one of probably, I would say, actually things that I don't want to shit too much on. This in the manga, because Mikasa looks way more sad. I think that's a big problem with me. She didn't look sad enough. You know, you watched me last week when I cried to My Hero Academia, right? And this, most people say, oh, because it's sadder than Shinji, whatever, right? But I didn't think the animated enough here. And yeah, and the scene took the manga again, and you just look way sadder in the manga. Like the anime completely failed in that, and probably also because they drawn it out right. Because every scene had to be like, okay, this is a scene that's like 1 page. Okay, let's make that 2 minutes. So it was probably also because they added in as much they could, right? And padded it out as good as they could. Every damn scene that made it less dramatic and less emotional because it's like, oh, I'm sad. I am really sad. Like, I mean, I'm sad. I'm saying I'm sad. Like, you know, they kind of really like they really stretch it at its limit, and then threw in the flashback that was necessary, and then double on the flashback. And yeah, the hardness giving them part. I mean, it is a good scene, but the scene was just, I felt it was very much less impactful than in the manga. So I think that first and foremost, like, it's just like, wow, I could have read a manga and then got a better scene. That's the first issue. Second issue, of course, is that they clearly decided that, okay, it has to be this long. This many minutes, it has to be the episode. No matter what, right? So you're gonna fill out on stuff that you already know, right? Complete necessary. But I think the main problem I have though, and this is because chat isn't that good either, but chat was more emotional though, manga chat is much more emotional, is that I feel I could have just not have watched the episode completely. I think that even if you're a completely, you know, never read the manga, never any side sources ever read, and you're just an anime watcher, completely anime watcher, completely new to this series, even if you, I mean, if you haven't watched anime like 3 years and you're going, you probably could skip this episode and you will have no difference, to be honest. Yes, it's pretty, a little sad, Mikasa is sad, and it's a little like, you know, yeah, let's fight, we need the food, it's a pretty good scene, but that's pretty much the only 2 scenes you need, right? Or like 18 minutes, like 70 minutes, whatever, or just whatever, right? Because every order they have seen was all spelled out, like, okay, we're gonna, like, talk to them about this wall thing, throw in Sasha in there. I love Sasha, I love her voice actor, she's such a good voice actor, so I love her, so I mean, yeah, okay, fine, but still, that's just like, okay, here's more stuff. We basically could have skipped the first, I think, like, somewhat 15 minutes or so. Just have, because in chapter 2, in the manga chapter 2, the manga chapter is much more focused on just the part where Hannah talks to them. That's the focus on it. So in the anime, they kind of spend like 10 or so minutes of Armin and Mikasa being sad, right? Where in the manga, they spend like maybe like 5 pages of them being sad, and then it comes there, and it's more focused on there and so on, right? So that also was kind of weird. Yeah, just really, really bad episode, I think. Really bad. I mean, in every way too. Like, they made it worse too. Like, yeah, because I mean, even if you ignore that, okay, this manga chapter is pretty lower pace too, even though there's actually more information in the chapter in the manga than in the anime. So that, yeah, I mean, it's not even a full chapter, I would say, but or like almost a full chapter. You know, yeah, like, she looks so much more sad and depressed in the manga. In the manga, it's clearly tears in her eyes all the time. Here's how she's returned being sulky. I think they could fail on, like, showing her emotions. Not because, like, you know, oh, you put some tears and it's easy, but I mean, like, in general, like it didn't feel depressing enough, somewhat. It didn't feel important enough. And clearly, I mean, the anime, the pacing of the anime to say, okay, we're gonna take 1 chapter per episode, isn't working in this manga. Like, you can, or it depends on what the episode's about. Right, but I think that last episodes covered 2 chapters, and you know, the chapters longer than that, and that's pretty much fair with this anime. But like this chapter, when it has like be sitting here and being sad, like that takes longer time to write and to, you know, draw and do an animation. So you can't. It's not the same thing. You can't say that, okay, we're gonna have like freaking, I don't know, like 20 minutes of them just sitting there, instead of, you know, there should be like 3 minutes, you know, or more impactful, better lines to it. You know, I mean, yeah. It's hard to explain it. It's like, wow, this is just so useless, really. I feel you can skip the episode because they didn't get the emotion right. If they had get the emotion right, it would still be a bad episode. Even if the emotion was correct from Mikasa and so on, it would still be a bad episode because it would take like freaking 70 minutes to get to the actual part. So it'd be like, what the hell is happening? So really bad episode, really bad. I'll probably get like 20 dislikes now in like 5 minutes, but I don't care. This is the honest truth. This episode was bad. And like the manga is much better here, and usually manga is better, of course, like in most anime manga, but it is much better here in every regard: pacing, action, like characterization, character development, emotions. Everything is better than manga. That's Sasha. That's cool.